Round one. Fight.
Heroes never die.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
Power, sex, power. They both come down to one thing.
Hungry gamers.
Hello, 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 and welcome, boys and girls, to the 255th episode of the Hungry Gamers podcast. We are powered by ATEBIT.net and those sexy legends over at Audio Technica. Go get some gear from them ASAP and then come back and listen to the rest of this podcast. I'm extremely humble host Brendan White. You can find me just about everywhere at Brendan8bit. And joining me today, the Lily Zanotto to my Augustus Aquato. You can find her on them socials at Miss Allie Hart. My podcast, Ride or Die. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Why did 55? 255 sounded really intense for some reason. I'm like, whoa, we've done 250 episodes? When did that happen?
Yeah, it's happened erratically over the past 5 to 6 years, Miss Hart. It's been a trip.
It has been quite the trip.
Yeah. And speaking of trips, we've been dabbling in a game that gets a little bit psychedelic and a little bit... psychic and psionic and mental telepathy, telepathy? That's the way you say it, telepathy, mind powers and what have you. Yeah. For those that don't know what I'm talking about, because I barely know what I'm talking about, we're obviously talking about the latest game published by Xbox Game Studios. We're talking about the classic from Double Fine, the sequel to the original Psychonauts, which is about 15 to 16 years in the making, originally funded through Fig, of all places. We're talking Psychonauts 2. Miss Hart, how you been doing with this little ditty?
I absolutely love this game. I didn't expect it. There's been a lot of people through my time in the gaming community who, like very, very, very few, who were absolute diehard Psychonauts fans. And you know how sometimes when people are a big fan of something, you find it really hard to believe that when they're like pushing their game onto you, that it is genuinely that good. You kind of like,
yeah, you feel there's no way it can live up to the hype that you're pushing towards me right now.
Exactly. Like, I understand you're a big fan of this thing, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's that good. And this has to be one of those occasions where they were 100% right. This game is absolutely delightful and I am loving every moment of it. Actually, technically, where I just left off, I'm hating that level, but that's just, but it's just that level that's kind of grinded my gears, which is a perfect example of why it's pissing me off. But at this stage, this game is just absolutely charming. Its design, at first I was quirky and I'm kind of like, I don't know if I like this, but it's really grown on me now, like the overall design style choices of this game. I still don't believe that the main character is a young kid. To me, Raz. It feels like he's Steve Buscemiing us with his young kid. Yes. He definitely he gives me like short 30-year-old man vibes. I shouldn't have said that he would look old then. But yeah, like either way, like the overall design's great. The music is absolutely gorgeous as well, and I just finished one set of stages because the whole game premise is that you go into people's minds.
Yeah. And you're exploring, like, you could say, like, mental worlds, really.
Exactly.
The minds of these characters are the worlds you are running around in and doing all kinds of shenanigans and what have you. It's so good, though. Like, I'm only early stages. Like, I had full intention to try and roll credits on this by the weekend that's just passed. We're recording this a little bit later just because I got some life stuff going on at the moment, but I'm maybe 2 to 3 hours in, so I'm still fairly early stages, it feels, but like I'm loving the world, loving the soundtrack. The art style is awesome. It's just like this crazy action platformer fever dream thing where, like I could imagine playing this game under some type of influence of some various thing, and it would just be an even more pleasurable experience. But it is so fun. You can see Tim Schafer's DNA all through this,
especially in the writing.
Yeah, anyone that's sort of experienced any of Tim Schafer's brilliance throughout his gaming career, you'll jump on this game and go, yep, I know that Tim is behind, the writing and just the comedic delivery and the dramatic elements and things like that. But it's so great. It's so great. Like, I'm hoping it continues on this path, because it feels like it could be one of the sleeper hits of 2021. And one thing I wanted to jump on that you said to me before we started recording is, comparing this to the PlayStation, action platformer exclusive in Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Like, these two are sort of indirectly going head to head on the two big platforms. And you said you've been enjoying this more than Ratchet and Clank. That's big words, I reckon.
I actually really have been enjoying Psychonauts 2 a lot more than like I did enjoy Ratchet and Clank a lot. Like, it was very delightful, and like I said, like how it looked gorgeous, and some of the play style was really, really good as well. But I just feel myself gravitating more into the story of this game, which everyone knows is pretty rich for me as someone that hates being told what the story is of a game. But I'm like very, very attached. There's something especially, I guess, maybe in the older generation, and obviously some of the younger generation too, with this concept of going into people's minds and dealing with their like mental burdens and issues. And I think the way that this game like handles like some of the stuff that can be considered pretty serious that some people go through, I think the way the game handles it is pretty well done. And also kind of creating this alternative way of kind of identifying these like mental issues or mental problems that people face in their days. So there's like this kind of almost like charming aspect to how that's kind of handled that I kind of appreciate too. So there's something very, very like wholesome about this game, and I'm just completely attached, and I don't know even how many hours I've dropped into it already. Unfortunately, it does have that collector's element, and I'm horrible. Like, I have to grab everything, and now I'm hitting that thing again where it's like, no, you'll have to come back after you unlock something. So you'll have to come all the way back to this level to finish it. So that's about the only drawback that I'm finding right now.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying everything that this game is throwing at me at the moment. Like I said, I'm still pretty early days. I haven't done much gaming at all this week, so the time that I had aside was chucked right into this, and rightfully so. Like, it's been a treat, and I think we've been very lucky the last several months where back to back games we've been playing have just all been delights in various ways and really fun, and very different tones, the games we've been playing. But I'm hoping by 256 of THG that I'll have finished this, and you'll have finished this, and we can maybe dive a little deeper and just be able to sort of put a bow on our thoughts with Psychonauts 2. But so far, it's awesome. Do yourselves a favor and get a copy if you're on Game Pass. Download the damn thing. It's included in your monthly fee. We talk about it all the time, but get on it ASAP, because it's a charming little ditty. And as you said, like it tackles some pretty heavy themes, some pretty relatable themes and scenarios, and it does it with a lot of charm and respect and care to those types of scenarios. So shout out to everyone at Double Fine, because this game's great. It's fantastic. As much as we're seeing a lot of games for 2021 get delayed to 2022 and beyond, we've still had a steady run of fantastic titles that can all be in that discussion for Game of the Year. And I think Psychonauts 2 is going to be one of those games, Miss Hart.
At this rate with Psychonauts 2, it's definitely a contender for my top, like at least my top 5 of the year. So
awesome.
Yeah.
On another note, I know you've got here in the doc that you rolled credits on 12 Minutes as well. Is it in your top 5 games of the year?
Hell no. No, it is not. Talk about the biggest letdown for me. Like, everyone who's listened to every episode has witnessed me getting more and more excited about this game that I was so looking forward to. I am the kid at Christmas who got a Game Boy, got a bunch of games, but no batteries. Like that's the level of disappointment and letdown that I'm feeling right now. Like
that's big. Like, I'm just going to stop you there for a second. That's a perfect analogy there. Like, that is a heartbreaker. Like, you get the Game Boy, you're ready to roll, you've got some games, you open up the battery cradle there, and there's 4 empty AA slots, and you're like, shit.
Yeah, and then you're like,
that's perfect. I love that.
Can you get batteries? No, everything's closed. I'm not going to the gas station. They're expensive there. Anyway, that's my disappointment. That's a disappointment level I'm sure listeners can be actually able to gauge with.
A Game Boy without batteries. That's a good metric.
On your birthday
that's
or
a good way to
Christmas
measure
too.
things these days.
Yeah, so I as like I had previously said on the previous episode on repetition and not getting a lot of like the outcomes that I think I gave this game way too much credit on like how intuitive it was based on things, and I literally like got stuck on like I knew exactly what I was meant to be doing. I was paying attention to exactly what the game was telling me to do. However, the actions that I was doing, which is exactly this pretty much the same as what gives you the ending or leads you down to the next path, it was like no, this specific thing has to happen. This very, 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 very specific thing. Even though you were technically doing it, it has to happen this very specific way. And I'm like, there was like a lot of things that kind of just overall kind of made me moan and groan and got really, really disappointed. Disappointed with the game. There's like this like little quaint things that happened that I did enjoy. I still appreciate a puzzle game based on like, you know, failure and learning from experience kind of thing. But when the hiccups that I kind of faced within playing 12 minutes and then the story and the ending of the story, I can see now why a lot of people were very disappointed and kind of a bit ticked off with their time spent into the game and then, you know, the overall experience and weighing in exactly whether it was worth it or not. I just feel like there could have been a better way to do this game. Maybe I also like let myself down harder by giving it too much credit, or maybe creating an experience in my head that I was kind of anticipating, and then I was just let down even harder because it wasn't what I was expecting. So yeah, I'm pretty sad that something I was really, really, really looking forward to just did not turn out the way that I wanted it to. And yeah. Also,
so you
I just want to say,
you go, Miss Up.
Sorry, I just want to say also the voice of the I've forgotten it. The guy who plays
James McAvoy?
No, the bad guy.
Willem Dafoe?
He did not sound like William Dafoe. Every time I heard him, I thought it was like Christopher Lloyd.
Oh, really? See, and I thought James McAvoy sounded like Sam Witwer all the time.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Like I don't really very, very generic voice, I feel. Like generic American man voice is what McAvoy went for, because he's an Englishman, if I recall. I think you're right, or like at least in that, you know, area. But I kept on hearing Christopher Lloyd. Like, is it Christopher Lloyd, right? No, am I getting the right one from Back to the Future?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Husband, you've got to go back to the future and save your wife.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was hearing. You got to go back. But yeah, so sorry to every listener that maybe was expecting, you know, probably a more positive outcome, maybe a bit of a turnaround for me after like only playing a few hours. But yeah, it just didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to. So womp,
especially like things we touched on with it last week was, if we played it on PC, it probably would have been a slight upgrade on the experience too, just with navigating and controls and grabbing items and moving them around. Like, it's, you know, a control is great, but it's not going to give you that finite accuracy that you get on a mouse. So that sort of knocked it down a little peg. I experienced some things too where I knew what I had to do, but because I didn't get the item and drop it at the very right time, or it was a millisecond too late, I'd have to roll the loop again and again. And anyway, 12 minutes, I guess it collapsed under the weight of its celebrity voice acting and the pressures. Like, I didn't mind it. It wasn't a perfect game. I'd recommend it if you're looking for something to play, but it's not without its warts.
You know what? That's probably a great way to kind of sell it to someone. Like, it's definitely an experience. It's not necessarily a new experience to anyone that's more familiar with like puzzle kind of narrative games. But it's definitely one to like at least kind of find out what all the hubbub is about and apologize for the story.
Yeah, and it was written by one man, so it's a game that it seems to be getting a lot more eyes on it than you expect with sort of such a small development team behind it, like having these Hollywood heavyweights involved. I don't know what dope deal Annapurna did in the background, the publisher of this game, but it's cool to see, and hopefully we might see a little bit more celebrity bleed into games for voice acting in the future, maybe. But who knows? We've got plenty of talented voice actors and actresses in this field already, so we'll see. I've been playing much, but I finally got around. Well, not finally. But I got around to smashing through some Crime Scene Kitchen. Yes! And boy, howdy, Miss Hart, did you steer me in the right direction on that recommendation.
Did you watch it all? Did you finish the season? Because I
haven't finished the whole season. I've got a couple of episodes left. But I am #sliving this game. Shout out Paris Hilton. But it is great. I love the concept. Joel McHale, I love.
Perfect host.
Obviously, Curtis Stone doing his Aussie thing in there. The mix of like low end CSI, SVU kind of things where they've got to go in and do their little investigations before they start cooking is just the best.
I love
Some of the characters are fantastic and horrible, but also that makes it good too, I think. Like
the contestants.
Yeah.
The bug-eyed girl.
One of the early episodes, I think it might have been the second episode, where there was like this Italian guy named Anthony who was just hard set on, the guy straight away?
Yes, I know exactly, because he, it made me so happy, but I also felt sorry for his wife as well. Maybe divorce him or break up with him.
One thing I looked at during because obviously they do the cutaways to the contestants where they, do a little commentary about why they made that choice or what they're thinking about outside of the live environment. Yeah, they were husband and wife to start the episode. And at the end, when they did another cutaway to them just talking to the camera, they were listed as friends.
No way.
So I don't know what happened. I don't know if someone ballsed it up in the production team, but it changed. The title slides changed, and I pissed myself laughing.
I have to go back, and I'm literally going to go watch that today or tomorrow to double check that. But that has to be maybe just like someone in production probably witnessed what that guy did and how he kind of just dismissed his partner. And we're just now after this, they're definitely only friends.
Anthony the Italian, he sucked. But you need those types of foils in these shows. You want the underdogs to root for. Mm-hmm. I loved old Nana Jean in the other group. She was the best.
She was a delight.
She was just going off script all the time and just doing things and weird little southern mannerisms and stuff like that. It was hilarious. But I'm all for it. And I got sick of waiting for season 2 of Harley Quinn to make its way legally to the Australian airwaves. So I found a copy in a dark alley on the internet, and I binged all of season 2 yesterday. My God, that show is so good. It's one of the best animated TV shows on the internet, on the screens, whatever you want to describe it as. It is so great. And I didn't forget, but I temporarily lost my memory as to how good it was. Like, I knew I really enjoyed season 1, but because it's been so long between drinks. But jumping into season 2 last night, it just felt good. Like, it was like I put my old trusty comfy pants on, and I just sat there on the couch and just was audibly laughing out loud throughout the entirety of the 12 episodes. The voice acting's on point, the tone, the comedic delivery, the violence, everything. It's just like all the chef's kisses. I love it.
It must
Bring on season 3.
So good to also kind of watch that after seeing the Suicide Squad movie as well. So
yeah.
Good.
I had similar beats last night when I was watching. I'm like, the tone is sort of punch for punch with the latest not Schneider, the latest James Gunn Suicide Squad film. So they're very much on the same roller coaster tracks, and it's awesome. It's so good. I love it. Can't get enough. Want more of it, please. Yeah. If you need a copy, anyone, let me know. I'll share it with you somehow. But that's all I'm going to say on that regard. But watching all the things, and if you guys want to try and win all the things, you've still got about probably a day and a half. This episode will come out same day today, so we're recording on the 30th of August. This will come out later tonight. But yeah, if you want to get in on winning some swagger from ourselves as well as Audio Technica, 8bit.net/win. Take you 30 seconds to enter for that. And the winner will be announced later this week. So you don't have to wait too long to see if you are a winner, baby. So check that out. But Miss Hart, we're going to do things a little differently. Well, not differently. We're just going to be focusing on sort of one thing that happened this past week, and that was obviously Gamescom and all the announcements and events that sort of were drip fed out to us around the whole Gamescom situation. So without further ado, let's jump into this.
This week's news headlines.
So obviously, yes, Gamescom has come and gone for another year, but it was not without its share of big, new and noteworthy announcements. So we've sort of cherry-picked with some assistance from IGN as far as the biggest announcements, or maybe the most important or unique or memorable announcements. So we're not going like play for play with everything that got announced over those span of a couple of days, but we'll just sort of jump in and jump out on a few. If there's anything not on the docket, Miss Hart, that you remember that's of note, throw it on here as well. But as far as some of the biggest ones, probably the biggest announcement, depending on which side of the fence you sit on with this franchise, we got the release date alongside a new multiplayer trailer for Halo Infinite. So December 8th, we'll see Halo Infinite making its way to the Xbox/Microsoft various gaming hubs. Obviously, that is without its Forge mode and co-op campaign mode, but you are going to get a full single-player experience as well as that online multiplayer. And yeah, the trailer focused on Commander Lorette Arguinia. She's going to be one of the main characters featured in the first season of Halo's multiplayer. They also then came back around and announced an Elite Xbox Wireless Controller Series 2 and a limited edition Halo Infinite Xbox Series X that will be released in celebration of Halo's 20th anniversary. I don't mind the look of this thing.
That console is gorgeous. I really, really want it.
Yeah, it looks pretty, and I saw a graphics floating around on socials as far as the Halo edition, in air quotes, Xboxes over the years, where they shown like the original, and then they've done one for a 360 and an Xbox One. But the Series X one is certainly the prettiest of the four. It is stunning.
So classy too. Like usually whenever there's like a game themed console release, like there's a good chance that sometimes it comes across as really like tacky, and I hate using that, but yeah, the design concept usually just is pretty hideous, and you can never really envision this product in a very I guess a grown-up adult space, whereas this Halo one is very sophisticated in design. It looks gorgeous. Like there's so many like little just like fine line details, and I can't tell if it's truly like a kind of gold embellishment or if it actually does have these little sparkle notes that showed up on the preview, but it looked gorgeous.
Yeah, it really did. It would not look out of place in anybody's lounge room, and I think you nailed it perfectly, where sometimes these things can be a bit of an eyesore in your lounge room as a showpiece, but this one would certainly look nice and add a nice layer of class to your your technology hub in wherever you do your gaming. So yeah, if you want to get on that, obviously pre-orders will probably be selling up very quick because it'll be probably of limited stock with the way the world is, but it looks nice. Something else we got a little bit more love on was Elden Ring. So the game, not even 6 months ago, we thought might never get released, a la the rest of George R.R. Martin's things. Obviously, is coming out next February. February or January? I can't remember. Q1 2022, this game is coming out. But we sort of saw a bit more of a preview, and then there was a lot of deeper dives doing the rounds at the various hubs where they got some behind-the-scenes hands-off preview action of Elden Ring. And they talked about how the summoning mechanic's not going to make the game easier. How the actual in-game text, so the writing of this game, for the most part, is not even getting written by George R.R. Martin. It's actually getting written by Miyazaki from Software. And then how the Elden Ring's lore is going to be uncovered and slowly opened up by interacting with the NPCs. There's a map that you can utilize in the game, so you can mark waypoints that will show up as sort of beacons in the game, so you can sort of plot how you go about things. The game itself is very big on choice. You're presented with ways to, go whichever way you want right from the jump. You can stealth your way through certain elements in the game. There's fight or flight. There's a traversal system where you can jump on your mountain, like jump over goddamn mountains and things like that, so you can get around certain areas. It's obviously a lot more of that traditional From Software style, but with a little bit more action RPG elements thrown into it. It still looks like it's going to be a punish. Like the enemies look like they're going to be fucking you up more often than not. But I'm intrigued. Like, this genre is not a big needle mover for me because it hurts me emotionally and physically playing these games sometimes, but I'll certainly pick this up at launch and at least give it a crack.
I probably won't be. Like, I'm happy for everyone that's been waiting for it, and so far I've been enjoying what they've been announcing and releasing on it, but it's not on my radar.
Not yet, Miss Hart. Not yet. What about Marvel's Midnight Suns, which was officially announced this past week? Is that on your radar?
Actually looks really cool. Like all the characters
really
that
does.
they announced.
It really does. So it's a new strategy game from Firaxis Games, and it looks like a superpowered version of the studio's XCOM franchise. So the game will feature customizable heroes. Also has iconic Marvel characters like Iron Man, Wolverine, Captain America, Captain Marvel, Blade, and much, much more. The game is going to be out in March of 2022. And we're getting the first official gameplay slice reveal this week. So we're going to see some gameplay of this on September 1/2, depending on where you are in the world. And I just wanted to shout out to the Enter Sandman cover that played over the top of this trailer. I didn't mind it, if I'm being honest.
This whole trope of like a heavy metal, normally a song that's usually really like heavy metal, and some waspy like female singer will sing it and make it very like melodic and stuff, and then it drops, and then it's this is like a very token thing that started to appear in a lot of our game trailers over time to kind of, I guess, build up the hype. Like this, you start with the emotion and intrigue, and then it does the drop where the action packed stuff hits you in the face. And they always use these key songs of like history that are usually just heavy throughout. And I don't know, like we kind of witnessed it first, I believe, like would it be the time when Gears of War showed their really, a game that's usually considered to be really like gory and boisterous and stuff, and then they chose a very like whimsy Mad World cover to go over it.
That's true.
That's when we kind of witnessed it. So yeah, the song I kind of rolled my eyes at, but overall, like the game with the characters, I didn't really care too much about what the overall story was. But I'm intrigued. I don't really play XCOM, but there was like little elements of this where it kind of like piqued my interest, where normally I probably wouldn't have paid attention too much. So
yeah, and it's pretty cool. Like they actually got the the rubber stamp from Marvel. So Firaxis have made like their own new superhero for this game. So you're going to be primarily playing the Huntress, she's called, which is sort of the focal point of the trailer, and she's the daughter of the big bad in this game, who was Lilith, obviously the mother of demons. Yeah. So it looks really cool, and the fact that they've made a brand new superhero for this game, like I think that's a pretty big play. Obviously, you can control the rest of that Marvel roster that you were playing with as well, which is awesome. But I'm down because it's sort of leaning into a lot more of the supernatural and the dark side of Marvel, which I'm excited to see. And we don't have to wait too long. In the next couple of days, we'll get a little gameplay trailer showcasing how this is going to play out and how it's going to look. So hopefully, it looks half as good as that trailer, because I was feeling it.
Yeah, like I'm genuinely surprised that I'm kind of like interested, curious.
Look at us. Now we're playing strat games. What's the world become, Miss Hart? What's the world become? But speaking of worlds, what's old is new again, because the Saints Row reboot, which we alluded to last week in our Tweet of the Week, is arriving, and it's arriving pretty bloody soon. It's coming out in February of 2022.
Hopefully.
On the 25th. It's going to be dropping on just about every platform. We got a few different trailers. We got sort of a CGI trailer introducing all the characters, as well as the new city, which is Santo Eliso, which is taking inspiration from the American Southwest. We got a showcase on the three main gangs, which are the Marshall, Pantera, and the Idols. Three very distinctive and unique gangs They come at you differently. They look differently. How they go about business is obviously very different. You play a character in this upstart of a group of 4 who are trying to make their way up through the underworld. And the character, I guess, is nicknamed the Boss. You play the boss of this little squad of 4. But the thing that surprised me, a lot of the chatter and some of the slices in some of the dev interviews, they're saying they're leaning more into the insanity of sort of Saints Row 3. So it's going to be a lot more quirky and zany as opposed to that pseudo-realism that's ground from 1 and 2. So it's going to be, like, we didn't see any dildo guns or dubstep guns or anything like that, but we did see a lot of crazy stuff playing out in the trailers that were presented to us. But are you still keen? You in? You excited for this in Feb?
Like, I am. Like, I'll definitely be giving it a go. I really hope they don't go down the outlandish route because, as I mentioned before, like, I didn't like that Saints Row. I liked the first 2. I liked it being a bit more kind of, I guess, grounded in concept of, just like gang stories, etc. But I mean, when I watched the initial trailer, like the first, like, kind of graphically, impressive looking one where it kind of showed you exactly what style they were going for, maybe just like an overall tone as well. I was kind of happy. I was pretty hyped, but I'm now kind of getting this concern where they do mention a lot that they're like, no, this is like a reboot. We're really starting from the ground up. This is a new kind of thing. I'm like, wait, does that mean we're not going to see any of the previous characters? Like, unless they're waiting for it for like an ending, like maybe some GAT action at the end. Maybe that would be a surprise, but. The other thing about this that kind of made me a bit kind of was that you play a character, like you play as the boss or whatever.
You play as the boss. So she's a badass looking heroine in this game. Like I'm
trying to remember. I'm almost certain you got to build your own character.
Yep.
Saints
could be male or female, but it looks like this is pre-decided. Obviously, you can change the clothing and the costuming of your character, but. It looks like the in air quotes boss model is fixed as that is that female, and that's who you're playing as.
Yeah, I'm that kind of made me sad too.
Yeah, you want it to be yourself.
I want it to be my character, yeah. Kind of thing. So that was the other thing where I was like, oh, so but they're trying this new thing. It's like you said, it's not too long before we'll actually get to, hopefully play it. So I'll still give it a go. I'll still try it.
Yeah, so it looks interesting. We'll see what happens come Feb, because Feb is very jam-packed. The next announcement, so Horizon Forbidden West was confirmed to be coming out on February 18th of 2022, so a week before Saints Row. And to help with that wait, Guerrilla Games have also released a 60 FPS patch for Horizon Zero Dawn on the PlayStation 5. So if you wanted to relive the original Horizon Zero Dawn before Forbidden West drops on February 18th, you can do so in 60 frames per second hotness. The next one, we got a brand new look at Call of Duty Vanguard's campaign and Paulina, who is one of its main characters. We got I think it was about a 7-minute slice of the game there. I watched the whole thing. Like, these COD campaigns are always stunning. Like, they are gorgeous and horrific and violent and tense, and it looks like more of the same. Like, Mother Russia's getting invaded in this scenario here, and there's big explosions and chaos and drama, and it's more of the same, but I think it's going to be a thrill ride nonetheless, the old campaign.
Yeah, there was a lot of things that kind of took me back to some of the like original Call of Duty campaigns way back when with like Call of Duty 2 or 3. So that kind of like made me smile, being able like seeing that kind of coming back to back to COD essentially. And just the overall detail in the game was pretty impressive as well. Like, it looked pretty polished for first person shooter, just high intensity action. Nothing looked like out of place, or the shading and shadows looked really good. So lighting,
yeah, more COD, but we're going back in time to the big wars, and I think it's going to be fun to play. So that looks interesting. We got another trailer for Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. But we've also got confirmation that the release window is spring of 2022. The game was meant to be in spring of 2021, but that should give TT Games more time to get some polish on this Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga extravaganza. Cool. I'm not a big Lego offshoot game guy. Like, they're fun to play, but like, you played one, you've played them all pretty much.
I think I've played maybe a little bit of one, but I mean, it looks really cute, and I love how they take like Star Wars, and they're kind of like poking a little bit of fun. Like, they kind of make a few little jokes and stuff like that. And I don't know, part of me wants to maybe just at least play one fully and get that experience. And this might be the right one to do it. That's
it. Like, they do well. Like, the fan service in these games is awesome. And the tone is on point to the universe that it's portraying, but then they also change it up a little bit and have a little bit of fun and jokiness in it to make it accessible for all ages. So spring of next year, American spring obviously of next year, for the Skywalker Saga. We got another trailer for Death Stranding Director's Cut, showing off some of its new items, features and missions. Obviously the Director's Cut is coming out on September 24th. This game is just looking more and more bonkers with every trailer and every new thing they add into this. Like, there's like racing mode, you can do stunts on the bike. Like, the boss battle thing looked cool, where you can like post your times online and see how well you fare, and some that kind of stuff's cool. But this game is just getting more and more Hideo weird as it goes along, right? The
little clip where they like showed Norman Reedus' character like drinking the now not labeled Monster energy drink. It was the Monster, kind of logo.
The contract is expired.
Yeah, it must be over. But then like they just showed this whole sequence of his character like doing a big chug of energy drink and then pumping his fists, dancing, and then the weird like photo mode, and he's like pulling like doing the victory like pose and sticking his tongue out, or like it was so weird. Like, I don't know, like it really feels like some, like, doesn't feel like a sellout thing, but it just feels like some weird kind of alternative of like, oh, we don't take our game seriously anymore. I don't know, like, because obviously I didn't play Death Stranding, so maybe the tone feels right, but just to me, based on the seriousness that I kind of got across from the game, and then just seeing this really wacky montage, I was like, wait, what is this thing game? This is wild.
Yeah. It felt like they needed to like drop a Benny Hill soundtrack behind this trailer. Like, you nailed it there. Like, the game when it first came out, it was bleak and very thought-provoking and very artsy, and now they've just fully lent into like, hi, my name's Norman Reedus and welcome to Jackass. Like, it's just this weird ass shit going on, but it's I guess it's Hideo at its core, right? He's a very eccentric, unique visionary, and his vision just seems to be going in every direction for this director's cut. But maybe there's enough there for people to want to come back or jump in to Death Stranding for the first time when director's cut drops on September the 24th. Obviously got a big slice of Forza Horizon 5 in Gamescom. And the trailer began. You saw players heli dropping into the game's Grand Caldera volcano in that 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands. That thing was squirting around. We obviously got the other showcase of the Mercedes AMG 1. We saw some dynamic weather effects. Aesthetically, this game was like, oh my god, it's gorgeous. Like, racing games are just about the best looking games in the world every single time. And this thing looks stunning. The controller that's coming out with this, I want that controller, the limited Forza controller with sort of the semi-transparent plastics on it. Oh my god,
with the color burst,
gorgeous. But these Forza Horizon games are so good and so fun, and it just looks like more of the same, just far, far prettier.
Absolute credit to whoever cuts the trailers for these games, because I'm not a racing game like lover. Actually, for the most part, I think I stay away from it because I think they're pretty boring most of the time. However, this for Forza Horizon 5, like, every time someone's dropped something for this and I've watched it, I've been like, fuck, I think I want to play this. Like, I think I really want to play this game. So someone out there's doing a great job if you're converting me to wanting to play a driving game. So
I think, if anything, too, Miss Hart, like the Horizon games, because they lean more into the whimsical and the crazy, I think you dig it, like, because it sort of takes some of its nods from like the Burnout franchise and stuff, where there's more mini games and insanity. So maybe Forza Horizon 5 could be your gateway drug to the racing world.
To the racing world, maybe. If it just keeps looking as stunning as that, and like you said, mentioned the like dynamic weather. Like,
Yeah.
it was incredible just how it like kind of interacted with the overall experience for the driver. It was crazy.
Absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, I want that controller. Not technically part of Gamescom, but we got a reveal from Nintendo where they showed us another piece of Metroid Dread, which is obviously coming out on October 8th of 2021. I think I'm feeling exactly the same as I did when this was announced several months ago. Cool, I'm happy for Metroid fans. This does 0 for me. 0.
Yeah, I don't think I've actually ever played a Metroid game, so yeah, I like you said, I'm happy for the fans, but
yeah, and the fans are horny for it. Like
They
the
really
internet
are.
when this trailer was like, oh my god, more Metroid. Like, I'm very happy for you fans, but it does nothing for me. The next one, I feel I was lied to in a big way on this next announcement. So Giants Uprising got a new cinematic trailer, which looked stunning. I loved it. I'm excited for this. And obviously there's a demo available now on Steam. So I jumped online and just watched someone play through the demo through just a YouTube clip. And the demo looks, it takes some notes and some beats from that trailer, but the gameplay looks clunky. It looks like a demo, like an alpha demo. Like, it just does not look smooth, and it looks cheap. And just the tearing and the weird graphical animations. I went from, this game looks cool, I think I could enjoy this, to watching the demo and going, yeah, I'm not going to get on Steam Early Access on November the 2nd. I'm going to pass.
I'm just trying to think, which studio is this? Was this like a
I can't remember
big
the
name
studio that did it, sorry.
Oh, because like
But,
this one didn't like obviously move the polls for me. But
Yeah.
I'm sad that you just as quickly got interested in the game. You absolutely lost your interest.
Yeah,
So-
I was on the bus and then I got off at the very next stop and then just went, I'm walking the rest of the way. But the cinematic, like, it was gorgeous and it was pretty cool. But yeah, the game itself I just don't get it. I don't get it at all. And it looks a bit underdone. Like, I know it's early access and then, it's like alpha at the moment. Then early access is coming in November. So maybe over time it'll have a little bit extra polish. But from what I saw on the YouTube clip of someone playing through the demo, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. Something that I will be playing, though, is Dying Light 2. We got another gameplay trailer with a ton of in-game footage and showing that traditional Dying Light first-person parkour action. This game, and anyone that's played the first one just knows the speed and the insanity that you get in Dying Light, and it's more of the same here, and it looks cool, and I'm all for it. I can't wait to play this game.
Yeah, I look forward to it. It's been a while since I've played a zombie game, so it might be time to kind of like dust off the baseball bat or whatever wonderful object of choice as weapon.
Yeah, I think the verticality and the speed in this game is what sets it apart from most of the other zombie games, where you are traversing walls and buildings and everything else in between at such a speed, and then jumping, like launching off it and using like enemies to cushion your fall and all that. It's really cool, really fast. Another game that looks really fast, but it's not for me. Jet, the Far Shore, got its official release date for October the 5th. So any Jet, which is Jet, any fans of that franchise will be getting the Far Shore on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, as well as PC on October the 5th. We got a nice highlight on the Xbox showcase as well regarding Xbox Cloud Gaming. So obviously that is going to officially arrive on the Xbox Series X/S and Xbox in holiday of 2021 for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Fucking scared the shit out of me.
It was empty, right?
My phone just fell off the little stand it was on and then knocked my coffee cup. My heart's racing from equal parts due to being so excited about Xbox Cloud Gaming and then my phone falling off things. But so Holiday 2021 is going to allow users to play 100 plus games from the cloud on their consoles. And they're also targeting to have these games reach 1080p, 60 FPS. Boy howdy, huzzah, excited for this. But I just need to get a better phone to play it on because this iPhone SE that I've been given from work ain't going to cut it, Miss Hart. It ain't going to cut the mustard.
No, definitely not.
For some cloud gaming.
No. Do you ever like think sometimes with this Xbox stuff, this Game Pass stuff and this cloud gaming stuff, like you just gets so good that you're just waiting for it to drop? Like you're waiting for the bad thing to happen?
Yeah, it feels like... I'm getting punked eventually.
Yeah.
Like all these things are happening. I'm like, nah, this can't be real, but it's real. and it's real and it's real and it's getting better. And the fact that it's going to be included in a subscription I already pay for. And, you know, you talk about how awesome a Switch is to have on the go. You know, no disrespect to Nintendo. Love my Switch. Love that on the go gaming. But the fact that you can do that now with this, with all those Game Pass games, wherever you are on whatever platform, pending internet connection, of course.
Of course.
It's very exciting for gamers. Very exciting.
It's crazy.
Something else might be exciting for maybe some old nostalgia heads. Microphone-wielding journalist April O'Neil has been confirmed as a playable character in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. Obviously, a homage to the Turtles in Time, arcade classics. Did play the OG arcade version with Benny and Buddy at Netherworld on Saturday night, actually. We made it about 4 levels through. You forget how hard those sort of 80s, early 90s cabs are as far as the difficulty and just the coin-eating mechanic that those things have. Makes it impossible for you to progress without pumping a ton of money in it. But excited to play April in this game. And she was also announced in Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl. Her and CatDog are the latest fighters to make their way to Nickelodeon's Smash Bros. Competitor. So, okay.
That Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl, like, I didn't grow up too much as a Nick kid, but it looks a little fun. Like, it
does.
It's like a lot of recognizable characters, and I'm like, this looks a little stupid but fun.
Yeah, like Invader Zim's in there, Powder Toast Man's in there, some Ninja Turtles characters. Like, it's great. I don't recall seeing any Rugrats characters in there. Maybe it's a bit too on the nose, beating up a baby. I don't know. Maybe that's why.
It would have been like Reptile, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Reptile.
Beating up a baby.
Was it Phil? Or the grandpa? Maybe just kicking Tommy Pickles across the map.
Get out of here, Chucky. Yeah, but no, I think I want to play this game. I'll have to keep it on my radar and see how affordable it is.
It looks like good dumb fun. We obviously got another trailer for Amazon's upcoming MMO, New World. The open beta is going to be running from September 9th through 12th, ahead of its full release date, which is September the 28th. It looks pretty for an MMO, but I ain't got the time to invest in a big PC-based MMO. This is going to be a lifetime consumer for people that want to jump into these games. So good luck to those MMO heads that are excited for New World, because it's getting a lot of positive chatter on the socials as far as people that have been playing in the previous beta runs and stuff. They're keen as beans to give that a go. We got some more content coming to Ghost Runner. So there's a wave mode and an assist mode that's going to be dropping in the next 48 hours alongside a pack of neon-themed cosmetics. So wave mode is a roguelike take on Ghost Runner that has players attempting to get through 20 waves of enemies using randomized upgrades. And then assist mode, on the other hand, is going to make the game easier for those who just want to experience the story and the game's world. So it's nice to see that game getting a bit more love.
Yeah.
We got some exclusive gameplay for Solstice, which is a hack and slash adventure game featuring a superhuman and her ghost sister. I thought this was pretty, looked like a fun hack and slash game, fast frenetic combat, aesthetically looked fine. Don't know if it's a day, it didn't get me too hyped to say I have to play this game, but you know what, if it popped up on Game Pass and I didn't have anything else to do, I'd give it a run.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe this game.
Yeah. Game Pass approved.
Yeah.
We got some updates on Blasphemous. So that's a dark fantasy action platformer. They're not only getting some additional story concluding updates via DLC in the Wounds of Eventide event, which is coming out later this year, but they also confirmed a full-fledged sequel coming out in 2023. I have not played Blasphemous, but I know a few that have, and they spoke very positively of it. So I'd say those gamers would be happy. The next one, Miss Hart, I am keen as a bean to play this game. Hypercharge Unboxed. It's leaning very heavily into army men, small soldiers, that kind of style. Where we've got action figures fighting battles in arenas. It looks like it's almost a little bit Fortnite-y, but where you're playing as toys. And I am down to play some of this. I am so in to play this game. It looks bonkers and just a good amount of dumb fun that I need in my life.
Yeah. Like it's like, for me, it's kind of on the same level as like Worms, I guess. Like Worms Armageddon kind of thing. Like where it looks like it'd be fun to kind of play with others kind of thing, but you probably wouldn't dedicate too much time to it.
No. You get your fix and then you'd move on.
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
to a game like Severed Steel, which is dropping on PC on September 17th. It's also coming to PS5, Xbox Series X/S, and Nintendo Switch before the end of 2021. Sort of takes its inspirations from games like Mirror's Edge and Black. Severed Steel, you're seeing a lot of wall running, diving, flipping, all that kind of stuff, and then getting some bullet time elements. Yeah. It looks cool, looks fun, and the environment is fully destructible, so much carnage can be presented in front of you while playing Severed Steel. We also got some highlights on a game called The Waylanders, which is inspired by Celtic myths and legends, and will be released on November the 16th on 2021. It's a party-based RPG. It's been in early access on Steam since 2020, and the full game is apparently going to be promising a 40-hour adventure. It looked okay. I like mythology and all that, so that's sort of something where I'm like, oh yeah, I could get into this and see what's happening here as far as, Celtic stories and some of that back history. But it looked interesting. Yeah, anyone that's already playing on Steam via early access will be happy to see it coming out in full, obviously in November. But yeah.
I was trying to think actually, because there was another thing that was announced, and I'm trying to remember. It's a very popular game at the moment where people are saying it's like an online multiplayer and it feels like Halo. Is it called Split something? I'll have to double check what the name is, and I feel like such an old person saying it's the game that the kids are playing at the moment. But it was a game that has been in beta for ages, and actually at Gamescom they announced that they're actually going to, because of the success of everyone playing, they're going to release new seasons of it. I'll have to double check what the name is, but it's like something Splitters as well. But I just like that these games have kind of been hanging on for quite a bit now, just like kind of doing like essentially just full releases. Yeah,
Steam Early Access is it's like, I guess it's a good safety net for devs where they can get that game out, get a bit of a feel for it in the marketplace, get feedback from players, and then develop it enough to hopefully see it released as strong as it could be, and then hopefully further develop that appetite for gamers. So Splitgate. Yeah.
So Splitgate was the game that I was thinking of. So it's like a lot of people say Halo, and like I unfortunately don't have Halo as a reference because I've never played it, but I get also Unreal Tournament vibes to it. Yeah. So at this stage, all I can see is that it is free to play. They have like downloadable content which you can pay for, but it was like, I think it's been in beta since 2019 maybe, and they just kind of, because of the popularity of it, they're like, okay, we're just releasing it kind of as is, but we'll start doing seasons, start doing more maps and more like items and such. So just because like they had like such a huge increase in players, so they announced that also at Gamescom.
Yeah, which is cool. It looks good. Like, yeah, and it's getting some positive press, and hopefully it's going to have enough of a rabid fan base to keep going and survive. Yeah, will come in December the 8th. And then the last one I wanted to highlight here. So Toby Gard, who obviously is the creator of Tomb Raider's Lara Croft, is leading the charge on a new game called Dream Cycle. I watched the full interview that he did with IGN, where it showed some gameplay slice as well as just talking through it. And it's getting described as a psychedelic adventure where players can slash, shoot, and loot their way through over 10,000 very mysterious and crazy worlds. So that's a lot of worlds, Miss Hart. 10,000 of them. I don't know how diverse and unique they're all going to be. I don't know how in-depth they're going to be. But
it's quite the promise.
Holy guacamole, that's a lot of worlds.
Yeah, it's quite the promise, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But like for me, I wasn't too interested. Especially considering I actually haven't played any of the recent Lara Croft games.
They're so good.
I know you do say that they're actually really good.
But this game, like, it certainly doesn't have the Tomb Raider budget behind it.
No.
It was hard to gauge what this game's trying to be. Like, it looks like it's a bit of a platformer action maybe it has got a little bit of a treasure hunter sort of story to it where you're jumping through these worlds. But then he mentioned that this sort of has some nods to like Lovecraft and stuff. So maybe we're going to get some crazy HP Lovecraft mythos where we're going to be going against random ass Cthulhu's and other kinds of nightmare beasties from that sort of world. But it's interesting. He's sort of been working on this game for forever, Toby Gard was saying, and he just can't get away from this sort of style of game. But 10,000 Worlds has me at least intrigued to see what that actually means and converts to on the screen. So, so that's the main comings and goings from Gamescom 2021. Some big announcements, some big reveals. It's nice to know we've got a lot of games coming out over the next 5 months to get excited for.
Yeah, pretty busy.
But it was good. It came and went very quick.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Like overall, just another like credit to Jeff and like putting on this show, which is normally in Germany, right?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah. So having this established, I'm still liking the stage and overall like kind of interactive full like set where every like the ground and screen behind him kind of like all blend in together and display things about the game that he's presenting or the studio or whatever. I absolutely adore it, and I really hope we never go back to live conferences and whatnot. Also full props to him for taking the first day's event and ending it on a flex for himself of being featured in the Haunted Mansion. And was it a game or a animated thing? So his head is going to be in the Haunted Mansion Disney thing. So I just thought it was so funny.
He's one of the masters of self-promotion.
Yes,
old Jeff Keighley. You can't fault him on that. Like, yeah, I'm with you. He's a hell of a hustler and he does a lot of good work. You know, he's a very hardworking individual, and amongst all this COVID lockdown ISO stuff, he's still working very, very strongly and tightly with this great group of people behind the scenes that are delivering these showcases for us to still feel a little level of normality as far as events and being able to be updated on what's coming out. And I thought overall Gamescom was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
A lot of diverse announcements for people hunting AAAs and indies and free-to-plays and PC and console. There was something for everybody there.
Yeah, mad props to whoever made the decision to announce all the Halo stuff, not in the exclusive Xbox event, but just saving it all for Gamescom.
That was nice to see.
Yeah.
Add a little bit more weight to Gamescom. But let's jump over to here.
Tweet of the week.
And so this tweet, it's a little bit of a different tone to what we were just talking about. So this is on the back of a lot of terrible, terrible, terrible situations happening over on Twitch. And the first tweet we're sort of referencing here comes from @TwitchDirect over on Twitter. And the tweet reads, "We've seen a lot of conversation about botting, hate raids, and other forms of harassment targeting marginalized creators. You're asking us to do better, and we know we need to do more to address these issues. That includes an open world, and that includes an open dialogue about creator safety." The tweet then goes on to say, "Thank you to everyone who shared these difficult experiences. We were able to identify a vulnerability in our proactive filters and have rolled out an update to close this gap and better detect hate speech in chat. We'll keep updating this to address emerging issues." It further goes on to say, "We're launching channel-level ban evasion detection and account verification improvements later this year. We're working hard to launch these tools as soon as possible, and we hope they have a big impact." And there's a link that you can check out more regarding the tools. And then the tweet finally ends with, "Our work is never done, and your input is essential as we try to build a safer Twitch. We'll be reaching out to community members to learn more about their experiences and encourage you to share feedback via user voice." And then there's a link underneath there as well. So that all sounded well and good as far as Twitch trying to get rid of this disgusting bullshit behavior that we're seeing running rampant on Twitch. But then I saw an update earlier this morning from our @Blessing Jr., obviously Blessing Adeoye Jr. from the Kinda Funny crew over there. And he says, "They originally acknowledged this on August the 11th. It is now the end of August, and he's been hate rated 3 times in the last week alone." Mm-hmm. So It's Twitch saying things and then not acting on things. Hopefully we do get some real change, because this type of activity is disgusting, and the people that are doing that can get fucked because they're pieces of shit. This stuff does not fly anywhere, and it's not fair for these people and their communities who are just trying to have safe, fun, welcoming environments to cop this kind of stuff. Completely unjustified. So I'm hoping there's some change for this. Miss Hart, you mentioned there's going to be a bit of a stand getting made by content creators this coming week that other streamers could be a part of to show some solidarity.
Yeah, that's right. So all streamers that want to kind of show their support and, you know, essentially take a stand against this overall thing, and obviously Twitch is in action. They've created a day off Twitch, so that's a hashtag, so you can obviously check it out as hashtag a day off Twitch. That will be happening, well, it says Wednesday the 1st, which is here, so I assume that kind of like molds into the next day for you guys in Australia. But essentially all streamers, content creators involved with Twitch, they will not be streaming for the whole day. They're taking a stand in solidarity and not streaming for the day. And obviously as viewers, if you want to also show your support, it would also, you know, the best way to show is by obviously not going to Twitch at all. And, you know, any kind of, you know, I guess like action, especially in as a big group, it will show numbers. For every person that doesn't watch Twitch, that's a bunch of ad revenue that they're losing out on and such. So sadly, money speaks, money talks, and they figure that this is the best way to kind of show them that they've had enough. So if you want to participate, like I said, Wednesday 1st here. So it'll probably be 2nd for you guys. And any more information, or if you just want to read some of the horror stories that some content creators have gone through, just following a day off Twitch hashtag and just reading some of the horrible stories that some content creators have gone through, and if you want to show your support and just, you know, go along with the cause and not show up on Twitch.
100%. I'm hoping that this day off Twitch does lead to some good in a very short turnaround, because it's all well and good Twitch saying we're sorry and this can't continue, but you got to do something about it, and do something about it fast, because this type of behavior is disgusting and shouldn't be on any platform, especially something like this where you've got people of all walks of life, of all ages, of all nationalities, of all sexes, copying this kind of stuff through no fault of their own. So do something about it. Quick Twitch. And if you wanted to read more about it, show support, hashtag a day off Twitch. And, simply on that day, just sit down and play Psychonauts 2, or go watch a movie. Stay off Twitch. You've got plenty of other things. Go read a book, go cook a meal, whatever you want. Just stay off there. Let your silence be the voice of change, hopefully. So, everyone, just do better. That's what it comes down to. This type of behavior, not good. And if you're into this type of behavior, maybe don't listen to our podcast, because that's the kind of shit we don't want to be attached to, because it's disgusting. So, outside of that,
new releases and events.
There's not really much doing in the game and culture worlds this week, Miss Hart. There's not really any events that I could find of note. A lot of things here in Australia, particularly, are getting cancelled just due to the situations with COVID in Vic and New South Wales at the moment. Podcasts, obviously THG 255 is out. We might try and get some other content out later this week. But as far as new content with us over the next couple of weeks, it might be a little erratic. I've just got a couple of big things I've got working through for the next fortnight. So our release schedule, obviously we're a day late today with THG 255, but next couple of weeks, we've just got a couple of things got to work through, but we'll be back to the regular programming soon enough with more content. But it just might be a little longer time between drinks after this episode and then the next. I know this movie's out in America and other parts of the world at the moment, but Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is hitting cinemas here in Australia this coming Thursday. So if you want to get to the movies, you can check that out. Obviously, Candyman is out at the moment. Free Guy is out at the moment. The Suicide Squad is out at the moment. Plenty of stuff on the big screen to check out. As far as games coming out in this coming calendar week, we've got Kiwi, Rustler, The Big Con, Lake, El Shaddai, Ascension of the Metatron, Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, WRC 10, Big Rumble Boxing, Creed Champions, Golf Club Wasteland, and The Medium, which obviously that timed Xbox console exclusive, making its way to PlayStation 5 this week. So, ton of games there to get involved in. Obviously, there was a ton of games dropping last week too. So if you want to play some Aliens Fireteam Elite, you want to play some Psychonauts, plenty of stuff to keep you busy while you're staying off Twitch this week.
Yeah, out of all of those, I just want to highlight Kiwi. I don't know how they say it. I'm assuming it's meant to be pronounced Kiwi because they've got these very cute Kiwi bird characters associated with the game. But this one's been, I feel like I've seen it on my radar for quite some time. A lot of Wholesome Direct appearances as well. And it just looks very adorable. So if there's one of those that you definitely want to give a look, Kiwi is very cute. Yeah. So Keywe.
And it is on everything.
W-E.
Yeah, and it's on PlayStation, it's on Xbox, it's on Switch, it's on PC. So no matter where you get your gaming, you can get a bit of that Kiwi love this week if you want to jump in on that. But Miss Hart, is there anything else you wanted to say before we shut down the studio for a little while?
No, I think that's it for me.
That's it for you. I just wanted to send a quick happy birthday shout out to Bryce from the House of Mario. Had his birthday yesterday, turned the big 28. So I hope you're doing well down there in South Australia. You're keeping it real, just living your best life, and hopefully you ate all the birthday cake. But 8-Bit Nation, that brings us to the end of THG 255. Until next time, much love.
And stay hungry.
You've been listening to The Hungry Gamers, one of many gaming and geek culture related podcasts from the 8-Bit Collective over on 8bit.net. Check out more episodes on your podcast service of choice. And while you're there, please be sure to rate and subscribe. Until next time, boys and girls, stay hungry.
Technically, the end of the podcast, there was a bunch of Destiny stuff, and it was really cool. The Witch Queen content looks awesome, but I'm not going to put it in the main podcast, so there we go. Destiny stuff looks good.
Absolutely nailed it. That's like a racehorse announcer.